Several days of strong to severe storms are expected across the south as we head into the weekend through the middle of next week. That includes several rounds of rainfall for us right here in the ArkLaTex and the potential for a couple of strong to severe storms. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Jake Lambright, and we have got a lot to dive into whenever it comes to the rain potential, especially this weekend into next week, and even a few chances for some stronger storms across the ArkLaTex. Let's talk about what we know so far and what details are still uncertain. Of course, that next big change really going to be those rain chances increasing. Really, for us in the ArkLaTex, this starts on Sunday. The severe weather threat, even Sunday, I think, will have to be monitored as we go through the next couple of days. And that active pattern continues through much of next week until we get to the middle of April. Looks like I messed that up there. Let's try that again. There we go. That active pattern continuing through the middle of April, and then we'll start to see things finally dry out for us across much of the ArkLaTex. All right, let's actually backtrack a little bit here real quick and go back to this weekend's severe weather outlooks, and then we'll talk more about Monday's. This is Saturday's severe weather outlook, that yellow that you see extending from San Angelo to Lubbock, Amarillo, into the Oklahoma Panhandle. That's a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5, staying way out in West Texas and, again, parts of the Oklahoma Panhandle. Now, Sunday, that threat shifts to the east, and I do think it might shift to the east a little bit more. Like I said, I think we have the potential to see a couple stronger storms in the ArkLaTex on Sunday as well. Right now, though, as it stands, that slight risk basically extends from east of Lubbock to the DFW Metroplex as far south as San Angelo and includes Oklahoma City and Wichita, Kansas. Now, Monday, that's where that outlook shifts once again. It includes a small part of the ArkLaTex. Not surprised, main threat's going to be north of the I-30 corridor, and this is looking to be more of a conditional risk. We're going to have to break that cap on Monday afternoon in order to actually see severe weather or rain, period, start to fire up. So here's Monday's severe weather risk, again, really north of I-30, that kind of Red River County in Texas area, McCurtain County in Oklahoma, with that main slight risk extending from Abilene to Dallas through Oklahoma City and even through St. Louis, Missouri into parts of southern Iowa. So a pretty large slight risk area is currently outlined for Monday. And as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, there's some timing uncertainty, but unfortunately, I think we're probably going to see a couple of strong to severe storms by the middle of next week. When it comes to the heavy rain risk, this area has kind of shifted a bit over the past couple of days. So this will continue to shift, especially now that we're talking April 15th through the 17th. So that's next Wednesday through next Friday. We've got a slight risk of heavy rain. The National Weather Service highlighting an area basically from the western half of Kentucky all the way to San Angelo in Texas. Now that includes areas mostly along and north of the I-20 corridor. There are some counties just south of the I-20 corridor that are also included in that risk. Now, when it comes to rainfall totals between now and next Tuesday morning, rainfall totals are going to stay on the lower side. If you're north of I-30, you'll actually see some measurable and beneficial rainfall, and really even I-20 getting about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch. Again, that's now through next Tuesday. But those near and north of I-30 can pick up anywhere from about 2 to maybe 3 inches of rain, where those south of the I-20 corridor could pick up as little as a trace of rain. So a pretty big rainfall gradient there over, let's measure this out and actually see, again, from 3 inches of rain in McCurtain County, Oklahoma, to that 1/10 of an inch in Red River Parish. That's about 145 miles. So pretty tight gradient there of rainfall totals. These will continue to evolve. And of course, as we get all of Tuesday and then all of Wednesday into view, this rainfall forecast will continue to trend upward as we will have, again, that more widespread rain by the middle of next week. When it comes to rain chances, very low-end rain chances Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Not expecting severe weather. This is kind of those rain chances where we could maybe see a stray afternoon storm. Other than that, we're going to stay pretty dry through Saturday. Sunday, those where we start to see rain chances increase. Then Monday and Tuesday of next week as well, those chances will be a little bit higher. Even looking out April 15th through the 21st, there is a slight chance at an above average amount of precipitation during that time frame. This is much needed, of course, as we've got those ongoing drought conditions across much of the ArkLaTex. We'll get a new drought monitor out on Thursday. We'll have some rain from the weekend that should be factored into this. Really, where I expect to see the greatest improvement as a result of that weekend rain that we saw is going to be in kind of this general area. This is where we saw the most rain, whereas this little patch here of more elevated drought conditions out toward Natchitoches, we didn't see as much rain. I'm not expecting much of an improvement. In fact, I won't even take more deterioration off the table in that latest update. Again, that'll be up to the National Weather Service and the people that are over the drought monitor. We will, of course, give you the first alert to that info as we learn more. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, you're really going to want that umbrella with you starting on Sunday through Tuesday. of next week, and likely a little bit further Wednesday, Thursday, and possibly even into Friday as well. I'll walk you through your first alert 12-day forecast as well, which again does show some improvement as we get really toward the end of next week and into the following weekend. Let me go ahead and expand that out there for you. Again, by the end of next weekend, things are looking much better. Temperatures maybe a little bit cooler, falling back into the 70s. Overall, next week going to be very active. Enjoy this week and the nice weather. It'll be warm and muggy, but again, nice nonetheless. Enjoy it while you can. Starting Sunday and beyond, we'll have to pay a little bit closer attention to the forecast. Of course, we'll keep you first aware and first alert on our social media platforms. You can find KSLA at KSLA News 12 on all platforms. And of course, you can also follow me as well at Jake Lambright on all platforms. We'll give you the first alert to the latest.